Hey, what's going on, my friends? Kyle Regal back with part two. Part two today. It's Sunday. On my way home from the gym to the How Kyle Cured Crohn's Disease part two. I'm going to get a little more detail on some of the specifics that I did. And granted, my situation is unique, just like everyone else's situations in life are unique. And with that being said, you know, we all start out at different places, and I'll just start right there. So when the doctor diagnosed me with Crohn's back in, I don't know, 07, I think it was, she was very amazed and just surprised, quite frankly, on how, you know, in good shape and healthy I looked, because she said most people with Crohn's or colitis or any autoimmune disease, they look very weak, they're frail, they don't have a lot of energy. I had pretty much normal energy. I was strong, you know, I had good muscle mass, you know, low fat, all that stuff, but it was because I was always training, I was always working out. So with that, I went into it already healthy. And so that gave me a little bit of edge, right? It gave me a little bit of heads up, and I did have, at that time, it was like 4 to 5 years of knowledge in the health and fitness industry from, you know, bodybuilding. I did 2 bodybuilding shows and training consistently for those since I was really a freshman in high school, so since like 98, you know, I was training, so I already had like, almost 10 years of training under my belt. What I did also have, though, which typically what I find in literally like 98% of people's diets, is all y'all eat crap. Just saying, eat a bunch of processed bullshit food. And I did too. And I say that with a lot of compassion and empathy. But we as a society have been brought up in you know, cultured, I suppose you could say, in the fact that let's just get something quick and easy. Just whatever's quick and easy. Let's not cook. Let's not make our food. Let's not really, just quick and easy because we don't have time. Well, the deal is, if you don't give yourself time to make quality food or purchase quality food and put quality food in your body is not going to function very well. So that is why autoimmune diseases are becoming so prevalent. I shouldn't say that's particularly why, but that's in my belief. And again, as a disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a certified nutritionist. I'm just a guy who was diagnosed with Crohn's about 6 years ago and have become more healthy since then because of it. So choose who you want to listen to. Anyways, the food industry, right? You go out, you eat, you get pretty much sugar, you get carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, sugar, they're all the same. You look on the back in the nutrition labels, you're going to have to start reading nutrition labels if you really want to take control of your health in any standpoint that you are. So, you look at carbohydrates, let's say 6 grams, 10 grams, 20 grams. You see low fiber, low fat, all that stuff. Well, the low fat propaganda started back in the 1970s, roughly, maybe 1960s. And ever since the low fat propaganda began, lo and behold, heart disease, obesity started to rise in America. So, what's that got to tell you? I just read a study on that the other day. I can't remember the website. I'd say go read it. It was pretty interesting, though. And so this whole low-fat thing, well, what they replace food with that is low-fat is sugar. They up the sugar. If you go look at yogurt's a great example. If you look at a full-fat yogurt, probably has anywhere between 7 and maybe 12 grams of sugar in it. And it'll have like 16 grams of fat per serving. Okay, the fat's fine. It's pretty good quality fat, kind of, for the most part. But then you look at a low-fat yogurt, you'll get like, I don't know, probably like 2 to 7 grams of fat, but then you get 20 to 30 grams of sugar. So really what happened is we started eating more sugar back in the 1960s and the 1970s, and lo and behold, we get all these diseases. Well, also what sugar truly is, that's why you see kids are a perfect example, because kids' bodies, their immune systems, they're still young and very sensitive and you know, almost frail to the environment. And so you give your kids, right? I don't even have kids, but I have a lot of fun with kids. That sounded bad, but kids are cool. Anyways, I love kids. They're great. You give kids sugar, they get a sugar buzz. They start running all over the place and all over. They can't stop, right? Well, it's kind of like alcohol. You drink alcohol, you get a buzz. Well, sugar buzz, alcohol buzz, what does all this mean? Well, sugar is essentially, especially in the form that we have it most commonly available today, is a form of, it's a toxin that we put into our body that we eat as a food. That's why we get this sugar buzz. That's why after Thanksgiving you eat a ton of pie and potatoes or pizza, on game day, or drink a lot of beer, whatever it may be. Typically at some point after that you get tired and you just want to fall asleep and take a nap. Well, what happens in your body, there's a hormone called insulin, and that hormone gets released in order to shuttle the glycogen. Okay, sugar, here's how it works. Carbohydrates and sugar is a carbohydrate. Okay, so bread, for example, whole wheat bread is a carbohydrate. Pizza is a carbohydrate, mostly. All of these sugar and carbohydrates, people get them confused. So with that, we eat a bunch of sugar, carbohydrates. That in turn gets turned into glucose, which is our body's type of fuel source that breaks down from sugar, right? And then that glucose needs a vehicle to shuttle it to the certain places in our body. So that vehicle is insulin. So insulin rises, and when your insulin is high, there is basically a switch, and it can either be on or off. Not a literal switch, but we're going to call it a switch. And that switch will turn on fat storing or turn off fat storing. So when your glycogen is high, your fat storing mode is on. Okay? That's one thing that happens. So you store more fat. That's why people gain weight typically after they come off of what's the diet? The Atkins diet, because they haven't had any sugar and they go back to their old eating habits. So with all of this, just drawing that as a conclusion and as a point, as an example for you to understand that sugar carbohydrates, they're not healthy for us at all. And what sugar also is because it's a toxin, and we are, as human beings, somewhat allergic to it. They say with autoimmune disease, so I'm wrapping this back in with autoimmune. What happens is, since our body is allergic to that, that's why the autoimmune, that's why the inflammation occurs in the intestine, in the stomach, wherever it may be, depending on which label they give that to you. So that turns on, right? You get this inflammation. It's just like getting stung by a bee, right? You get stung by a bee, it inflames on your skin on the outside. Well, that's a threat to your body. So if you get stung by a bee on the outside of your body, it's, I just got stung, put a little baking soda with a little bit of milk in it, and that'll go down, right? It takes the pain away. Well, when we get an inflamed intestine, right, it's this disease. And it goes deeper than that. We all have the ability to have that. So genetically, as humans, right, we all have this gene in ourselves that can turn on this this response. So if you study the work of Dr. Bruce Lipton, genes do not control, how we look and who we are. There's a certain point they do, but especially with nutrition and diseases such, autoimmune disease, in my research and my experience, what controls the genes is the environment. So the environment is what you're putting inside of your body. You're eating all of this sugar, right? A sugar-laden diet, and therefore you're getting a lot of inflammation inside of your body. If you take people who have arthritis, or there's another thing, arthritis is a big one, and I don't know, let's just stay with arthritis. But if you take all their sugar out of their diet, start upping it with a lot of greens and vegetables and quality fats and proteins, their inflammation and the arthritis will go away. There's studies out there. Go check it out, read it. Anyways, the whole point of the matter is, through my journey, I'll wrap this up here, I just tested different foods. It was pizza, it was beer, it was liquor. I didn't drink. It was just a social drink around the weekends, but I tested this throughout this whole time. And what I found is that I was just sensitive to, and I was eating a lot, okay, because I was like in the bodybuilding mindset, like gotta eat everything, eat. And I was eating a lot of processed carbohydrates, very little vegetables, eating good quality proteins for the most part, and decent fats, okay? So once I literally just changed my lifestyle around, I changed my whole entire lifestyle, and not overnight, okay, but I learned this because I didn't want to take medication, and I wanted to be healthier, so therefore I started eating more vegetables, more greens, more smoothies with green powder in it, a lot of just organic based natural foods. And literally ever since that was like 3 years ago, 4 years ago when I started that, everything is just getting so much better, and I still get better, and I still get better. So take from this video the fact that healing necessarily won't happen overnight. I am shooting these videos in this little series. This is part 2, just to give you hope more than anything that it's possible to get through Crohn's, colitis, anything. And I understand too that many of you are in very dire situations and in painful situations, and you're going to have to take slower steps and move in a slower direction potentially, or faster. Just use this as a resource to educate yourselves and know that it is possible to get through Crohn's, get through colitis, whatever it may be, and become healthier because of that. So I'm out. Feel like I kind of rambled and ranted a lot on this, but hopefully you found some good value out of it. And until next time, tomorrow most likely, I'll catch you guys later. Peace and love. I'm out.